up, everybody, and welcome back to the Inerded podcast. I wanted to go a bit more on the podcast that I released last time, which was all about Digimon, because after I released that Digicast, as I wanted to call it, someone sent me a Buzzfeed article, 16 reasons why Digimon is obviously better than Pokemon. Now, yes, I like Digimon more. I do find it to be the better anime, but that's my opinion. And I read through this, and they give some really lukewarm arguments about why it's better than Pokemon. I wanted to go through it so people could see why Buzzfeed, or at least this article on Buzzfeed, thought it was the better anime. Let's just go through it, I guess. The opening had way better visuals. Their argument: Digimon. It's way more intense. You have kids falling from the sky, digivolving digital coding, and creepy-ass monsters overseeing the world and foreshadows all the darkness in the show. Pokemon. It's cliche because it's too cute and happy. You know, this one is kind of tough to say because they changed the opening to both of them, I'm pretty sure, in the American release of both animes. So if you're talking about the American one, the Digimon opening was exciting and kept your attention. But it's also a lot newer than Pokemon, I guess. The Pokemon opening, it was cutesy, but it was a better fit for the 4Kids dub and Kids WB. So I think that was the big thing, is that the openings that they had were just better catered to the channels that they originally aired on in the US. All Digimon talk, and Pokemon only has Meowth. Argument: Digimon. These faithful companions can actually communicate with you in human languages. Pokemon. The only thing these creatures can say is an iteration of their own name. I don't really see how language can really be an argument to which one is better. In the US, they were both marketed to children, and it's just kind of weird to think that, just because Digimon can talk to them in English, that they're obviously the better anime. Meowth could speak in English, yes, but in Pokemon, these are not digital world creatures. These are supposed to be real animals, and Meowth was just smart enough to teach himself how to speak. In Digimon, they are computer data. They can speak the languages that they learn because they learn it from the code in which they come from. Digivice came in colors and had more purposes than the Pokedex. Their arguments: Digimon. The device not only created a connection between the Digidestin and the Digimon, but it also helped the Digimon evolve, made bad Digimon good, it was a tracker, and it granted access to the digital world. Pokemon. The Pokedex is the Google for Pokemon, and that's it. Yeah, that is it. Why would Dexter need to be anything other than that? It was its original purpose. This is a strange equivalency to me. I don't get it. Yes, I get that these are both monster type cartoons, but comparing things like this, it doesn't sit right in my mind, because they were obviously made to do different things. Yes, I will admit, when it comes to multifunctionality, the Digivice would take it, but it's still strange to equate these two pieces of technology, because it's obvious that whoever, inside the mythos of Pokemon and Digimon, whoever that was decided that the Pokedex only needed to be there to make sure that trainers could identify what Pokemon they were going to try to capture. And it's a good thing, because if trainers were wanting to specialize in the type, then Dexter's perfect for that, and that's kind of its point. A Digivice, on the other hand, I think in later seasons it may have become like a Digidex, but in season 1 and season 2, it was the Digimon knew what all Digimon were, so they didn't have to worry about putting that function into the Digivice. The Digivice was there to do everything else it said. It was there to keep the connection, it was there, it could track other Digidestin, could digivolve the Digimon, and these two pieces of technology are just so vastly different. It's weird that this is one of the reasons that they chose to put in here for it. Evolution was not permanent, and you didn't have to train for it. Argument? Digimon. If you like Agumon more than Greymon, then you don't need to worry, because your Digimon can evolve and devolve as it pleases. Pokemon. If you like Pikachu more than you like Raichu, then you are screwed, because once your Pokemon evolves, there's no going back. This is an absolutely horrible argument. Let's just start with the Pokemon argument. For one, Pikachu doesn't have to evolve unless it goes comes in contact with a Thunderstone. So it's basically the trainer that evolves the Pokemon at that point. It's not because of training or leveling up. Now, as far as Digivolution goes, it's actually quite well understood that Digimon fight, gain level, and Digivolve, and for some Digimon, you can see that an advanced level is achieved and is permanent. It was the Digidestined Digimon that had this capability to Digivolve and de-Digivolve without basically being killed and turned back into a Digi-Egg. But that only really happened when they ran out of energy at the end of a battle. It never really seemed like it was for their own purposes. They did it to themselves. It always seems like because they ran out of power or they didn't have anything to eat, they de-Digivolved. Not really a choice. Characters had more depth to them and you could identify with more than just 3. Argument: Digimon. There are at least 7 main characters that you can pick from to be your favorite. Each one of them is different and you can relate to one more than the other. Pokemon. You only have 3 main characters and that's it. Variety is better. Well, last I checked, more than one is variety. But when Digimon came over to the US, it was recut to try to put Tai as the main character. In the Japanese version of the show, they kind of get equal treatment. But over here they had to choose one person to take the limelight. And I honestly think they did that because Digimon came into the US riding on the coattails of Pokemon. Pokemon came out the year before, and in Pokemon we all know Ash is the main character. Misty and Brock are the side characters. They're not really the main focus of the show. Ash and Pikachu are. In Digimon, however, they tried to make Tai and Agumon the star. And yeah, there are 7 main characters in Digimon, and I like that a lot. Well, 8. There winds up being 8 because of Kari. So you do get a lot more variety. But the problem with this argument is that they don't always let every character take the lead. Now, in the episodes when they were all split up, yes, another character had to take the lead for those episodes. But when they were all back together, it was right back to Tai being the leader. The characters were not selfish and had meaning to their actions. Argument: Digimon. The characters were actually fighting against evil to save the digital world and the planet Earth. Pokemon. Ash is just a 10-year-old kid that wants to collect all the badges and catch all the Pokemon. You know, here I think they're just confusing the main points of the show. Yes, Ash is training to be the great Pokemon master. But that's the whole premise of the show. This kid sets out on a journey in order to become so. The children in Digimon were sort of abducted into the digital world. And they were brought in to really do that point, to fight against evil, to save the digital world because that was their destiny to do so. It was written. At that point, he's just showing that they're 2 different shows. Not that one is particularly better than the other, though, yeah, like I mentioned many times before, I did prefer Digimon. The crests had more value and were prettier than the gym badges. Argument: Digimon. These collectibles actually have value since they represent the personal traits of the beholder: courage, faith, hope, kindness, etc. Aside from having a meaning, they served as a catalyst to digivolve into champion or ultimate form, Pokemon. These badges represent grass, electricity, fire, rocks, etc. and help you show off your training level, but they are worthless because they don't help your Pokemon do anything. If this is just talking about the anime, then I think he's right. It's been a while since I've actually sat down and watched the first few seasons of Pokemon, but I don't think they had the same effects on Pokemon in the anime as they did in the game. I could be wrong. If I am, let me know down in the comments below. This kind of seems like a self-defeating argument, because once again this goes right back to that they're 2 different shows. The point of Pokemon is that Ash wanted to enter this competition. He needed to go through the challenges, which was collecting these badges, in order to enter said competition. The point of the crests were not to enter competition. They were not meant for one person to collect. They were meant for the 8 people of the team, and if I remember right, it wound up being 9 because of Ken, at least in the second season, but I don't think the second season was canon. And no, it didn't help them digivolve into the champion level. That could be achieved by the Digivice. This was to help that little extra power to get them to the ultimate level. I think in points of Gagumon and Agumon, it also helped them warp digivolve so they could reach their mega forms. So it just seems weird to compare these two, because once again, their functions are just so different. I mean, I could see this being a very valid argument if the crests in Digimon were meant to be collected by one person in order for, like, a championship type purpose, like the badges are in Pokemon. But it's not.